welcome back to our channel.
Hi.
Ailey is just driving us up to the horses on Sunday, and we're doing a little bit something more interesting today. So for the past few weeks we have been looking at different exercises and how we can progress them to make them a little bit more complicated, a little bit more difficult, and build up both our riding and the horse's strength and flexibility, capability, all of those things.
We thought we would film each exercise and make it into a little video so that you can see what we did, how we did it, and then you can go and do it with your own horses or recreate it or put your own spin on it. So we have filmed over the past 3 weekends the 3 exercises that we have done, and we're going to take you through all them and how they felt and ran for us, and you can see how they looked and how we set them up.
For context, we are on 2 baby thoroughbreds essentially. We've got 2 7-year-old thoroughbreds who, well, rising 8 actually,
Yeah.
Who have both trained to race and are both still in the kind of early stages of their education. And also we are a new combination. I've not ridden Quinn much, probably a handful of times really have ridden her, and I'm still getting to the grips with her, and I've not had a lot of consistent schooling in the past 28 years, and I'm 27, so
We'll just hand you over to each exercise now.
we'll give a little bit of an explanation of what each one is and show you the basic version and then the more advanced version if we manage to do it. Enjoy!
The first exercise we decided to tackle was one that we found in the Cavaletti for Dressage and Jumping by Ingrid Klimke book. It is this exercise here, which you can see there are canter poles and trot poles set out in a circle with a transition in between.
So, got our setup here. We've got our horse.
We set this up in our arena, and first up to try today was Quinn. We started by doing lots of trot and canter in both straight lines, and then started working on a circle so that we could get used to the working on a circle, turning our circles and helping the horse flex from left and right. Did this on both reins before tackling the poles. So we firstly came over the trot poles in trot, so the horse had a chance to see them, but not thinking about going anywhere else other than over the poles. As you can see, Quinn had a bit of a look. She always has a bit of a look at poles to begin with, so that's why it's nice to come in a nice forward trot. And as you can see, second time she's a lot more willing, and she's very, very careful. So then we started doing a canter, coming down to our trot transition and going over the poles, before then picking up canter again. Then we decided to canter over the poles.
Wow! Well done, girls!
Which, as you can see, she did perfectly first time. Second time lucky. She slightly knocked a pole, but was still willing. And here's our bird's eye view. So trotting over, picking up your canter, cantering over your canter poles, and then we just let them canter off in a straight line after, rather than coming back. We only did this exercise a handful of times with each horse. Ingrid says in the book it's really important that you don't overdo it. It's very hard work. It's great for strengthening them, improving their elasticity, but because it's strength training, you really don't want to be doing too much. You want to end on a high when the horse found it easy, and that's exactly what we did. So we did the exercise all together, just the once for Quinn, trot, canter, and then back over the trot poles.
Stunning! Big pat! Well done! Happy?
Just doing some slowing of the trot with the rising and then asking for more, just to get them a little bit more responsive to what we are asking, which is important for this exercise because it's, as I found when I was doing it, it's quite a quick thinking exercise. You've got to be on to the next thing. You know, straight after the trot pulse, you've got to get that canter transition, and you can't waste time with them not listening to you asking for that canter transition just before the pulse. So it's very important that they are listening and off the leg. She's just saying she's effing knackered. Better trot though.
So on to Nellie's turn. After again doing some trot and canter to warm up, we did some on the straight and on a circle as per Ingrid's recommendation before tackling the poles for the first time. Nellie's not quite as sensitive to poles, so she went over first time pretty well. So we did that on both reins, showing you a variety of angles here.
Nice. Now try the canter ones. You're doing me a confusal, Mum.
Now canter poles are less of Nellie's thing, especially on a circle, so I decided to try coming in a light seat for her. I had been a little bit under the weather, so light seat was better for me as well, but it did take a few attempts before she finally got the hang of it.
Perfect!
Once she got the hang of it, however, she was absolutely flying. Again on her less good rein, but actually she'd kind of got the hang of it by then, so it was absolutely perfect.
Well done.
So it was time to link the whole thing together, starting with her trot poles. We actually did it on her bad rein first because she seemed to be managing the canter poles much better on this rein. And she managed first time. As you can see, she's just starting to get a little tired. It's really important to recognise when the horses are finding stuff difficult and not to push it too much. So again highlighting the fact to not overdo it, not do too much. It's very difficult for them. So we decided to finish on her good rein so that she had a lasting memory of it being easy. And she smashed it. Really, really pleased with her. And after this, we just called it a day. So that is exercise 1. We're calling this trot canter trot on a circle. You can make this harder. As you can see, there are blocks there to put them on a rise, but we didn't feel they were ready for that. But if your horse was established, you could absolutely raise them into cavaletti or raise trotting poles. That would be your level up option. On to exercise 2. This is called the garages. As you can see, we've got 4 garages set up in the arena, 2 of which going on a slight arc towards each other, and 2 of which on a slightly sharper turn, both of which are to encourage you to control the outside shoulder and know where you're steering your horse. There are lots of exercises you can go on to do with this. We started by walking Nellie through them so that she could, well, actually, so that I could get used to the steering element, but also that she could get acclimatised to the garages she was needing to go through. We spaced them about a horse's width gap apart. So yeah, very important to control the outside shoulder, have a nice forward motion, and you can pick this up from walk to trot and right up into canter. You can use the garages to halt, and it's all about keeping them supple, relaxed, and in a good rhythm. So here we go, going in trot. The short end is the harder one for steering. You can also put the garages eventually up into jumps. We never got round to doing that, but that might be something that we tackle later on. This is Nellie tackling it in trot. Then going on the other direction. Now I won't lie, not long after this, a new horse box arrived, and you're about to see Nellie go incredibly tense. As you can see, a lot shorter and choppier in the strides. She's tail swishing, she's looking over at the lorry. It was the kind of the beginning of the end. It gave us something to work on doing the exercise. However, as you're about to see, we had to call it a day slightly soon.
And see whether you now find it easier.
Because effectively you've made it more difficult for her. Ooh, sit up, sit up, sit up, sit up. Naughty horse.
Nelly.
It wouldn't be a nice session without a Nelly explosion. So after this, like we say, Nelly was incredibly tense and her brain wasn't really in it. So we changed up the exercise slightly to try and help relax her. We decided to add in some halt transitions in the garages. As you can see, we're halting within the garages. All about preparation, preparing yourself for your halt. We didn't worry too much about it being square, and it was absolutely fine for it to be a progressive halt. So rather than yanking our hands using my seat, we progressed down to a halt. This just changed up the exercise for her. She found it quite easy to begin with, so to keep her brain on side, rather than doing the canter work, we decided to put in the halt transitions. We did this in both directions, and then at the end of the session we went on to have a nice stretchy walk and trot. This is us just doing it on the other rein. So we still managed to end on a positive. It wasn't exactly the exercise we were doing, but as you know, you got to ride the horse that you've got on the day. Next up was Quinn. So again, she started by trotting the exercises. However, to make it a little bit more different, we have added in some trot pulls down the long side. This obviously enhances more strength with the pole work, keeps their brain interested and keeps the exercise different. As we said before, you can tweak all of these exercises and vary them for what your horse needs. Quinn needs to see more pulls, so we give her more pulls. You could add in anything. Some people have, like I said, made the ones on the long side into jumps on an angle, so you have to come out and curve back round them. You can add in the halts, you can do canter to halt, you can do walk to trot, use the garages for your transitions, to go through, to trot over, anything that you would like. It's a very versatile exercise. And then Quinn moved on to the canter, so here we go. We decided to leave one of the trot poles out to canter over on one of the sides, but you could leave several canter poles or you could take them all away.
Turn. Yeah, turning, looking. Come on, I'm riding every step.
Woohoo! Good.
Don't let this fool you, this is much more difficult than it looks.
Oh, Heather, your leg looks phenomenal. Yes.
Turning. Yeah,
Oh.
ladder drop.
Textbook.
Well done. You've got to take away the pressure. It's just a forward step, not actually a counter transition. Turning.
Yep.
Well
Yep.
done, girl.
Yep. Well done. Oh, I'm so excited.
Come on, everybody's riding
Yeah.
with you.
Because she managed that perfectly on both sides first time, we called it a day. Again, really important for her to feel like the day was easy. She trotted off and walked off on a nice long rein before she was done, and she has ended it happy as Larry, as have her humans.
You pleased? Yeah. Good girl.
So the following day, we brought Nelly back into the arena to try it all again. As you can see, it didn't exactly go to plan the day before. We weren't going to do this exercise, we were coming into a different exercise. However, we thought we would warm her up through this exercise, and I thought it was important to show you that actually revisiting it has done her the world of good. She's tackling the whole exercise a lot more competently, she's a lot more fluid, and we're turning much more effectively. Adding in some transitions again, and again, I just thought this highlighted how much quicker she's picked up the exercise this day. Our progressive trot to halt transitions are much better. She's much squarer, and it was good to give us something to work on whilst we were warming up. Today we actually let Nelly try the canter because she was much calmer and much more relaxed, and she found the trot so easy. And as you can see, she was absolutely fine. So after doing it on both reins, it was time to move on to exercise number 2. So this is exercise number 2. We've got 2 parallel poles in the corner with a 45-degree angle coming out of it. You can come up from both reins, and it's really good at forcing you to use your corners with your horse. We just kept it to 3 poles because it was going to be very difficult. We came at it in walk and then trot first before trying it in canter for the first time. Nelly found this exercise extremely difficult. So it's just important to reiterate to take your time and build your horse up. These clips show how quickly she picked up the exercise, and it was really good for me as well to come at it several times. This is us coming at it on her arguably better rein, but actually she found this more difficult because she finds it harder to flex to the left.
Good girl.
Another bit of Nelly excitement. Got to keep the vlogs interesting. You can see there I'm having to use a bit of reverse bend to get into my corner and then flex her around. That's something we're needing to work on, inside flexion. Now your level up option is to make your 45-degree pole into a small jump or a cavaletti. This is Quinn showing you how it's done. Again, something she got better and better at with time.
First canter. Good!
But it was really beneficial. Now, in the spirit of showing lots of ways you can use this exercise in particular, we're now going to show you how we made it interesting for the horses. So we added a jump across the middle of the school, which we trotted out of and over the poles, and then you can trot over the poles and out over the jump. You can make this as high or low as you like. Nelly finds the turn extremely difficult, so we kept it pretty low. And then we're just going into it from canter straight after. It's totally up to you how you play with this, but this is just a few things that we did. On to Quinn's turn. We decided to do some across the centre and up the poles. Not ideal at changing her leg, however. We decided to use the exercise to change her leg. It's okay to go over them in counter canter. That might be something that your horse is able to do. And actually encourage Quinn to change her leg. But yeah, this one is very variable. You can do whatever you want. You can add a course. You can do it as part of a course. You can put jumps before it, jumps after it, jumps across the middle. Really just play about with this one. It is so easy to do, so handy, and so effortless to set up. Quinn nailed that little bit first time, so again, called it a day. She got a big pat from us, and then threw in a little spook.
Oh!
Show you.
So exercise number 3 is what we're going to call the clock face. This one's quite easy, and probably a lot of you have seen this one, where you can trot over the 4 axes of a clock face, trot, canter and walk if you need it. And this is really good for working on your 20-metre circle, aiming for the centre of the pole, working on your turning. The poles help with strengthening, and you can do it in both directions. So Nelly was our candidate for today because Quinn had already been ridden the day we set up this exercise. Again, as an ex-race horse, she was trained on the straight and fast, so working in a collected canter on a circle is really, really good for her. We started the exercise in trot and then moved on to canter. We did it on her good rein first so that it was a nice and positive experience, and as you can see I'm doing a lot of it in light seat. This is just so that I don't disrupt her rhythm too much, and I had been unwell this week, so it was actually easier for me to be in light seat to stop me from fiddling too much. Then we moved on to her less good rein, trotted them, and then picked up our canter. And actually, she managed it better than I thought she would. There was a couple that we missed out the pole. We almost missed the centre of that. Quite important with this exercise for Nelly not to do too many laps of the circle this day. Just as she's finding her feet and getting to grips with it, we only did a circle and a half at most before going straight again. And as you can see at the bottom of the school, we did have some straight cavaletti set out to warm up over. Now your level up option is to make your opposing axes into jumps. We kept them at cavaletti height, obviously just to ease her in, but I believe you can put them up to, my instructor suggested the max of between 70 and 80 for an established horse. This was the following week, and you can see she's tackling the exercise so much more forward, so much more confidently, as am I. And it again is just highlighting repetition and the importance of this for horses. Good to install some good rest before tackling number 2. And yeah, just so pleased with how confidently she took this. I was absolutely chuffed to bits with her. And myself actually, I'm proud of myself, which I don't often say, so I'm pleased with that. And then we went on to her less good rein, but actually I would say she did just as well. A little bit of a stutter there, but otherwise she was so happy and so confident, which was just so nice to see.
Well done.
So after this, we finished the session. This was one of my favourite exercises, and if you're going to try any of them, this is the one I would 100% recommend to do again. It was really, really good. Obviously the Ingrid Klimka exercise helped with this, but yeah, it was really easy to set up and really fun to ride. So yeah, give it a go if you can. And that brings us to the end of this video. Really hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope it's given you some inspiration to go away and try with your own horses. If you do give it a go, let us know on Instagram, give us a little tag or something. We are at TwoJollyJockeys. And if you liked the video, you could give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're not already, as that really does help us out. If you think it's something you'd like to see more of, we can absolutely film some more exercises. We do it every weekend, so we're happy to film some more. And if you think this was too long, too short, or just right, please give us a wee heads up, because obviously we've never done it before. And until next time, we will both see you later.